All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going live early. The NFL schedule is here. We're going to discuss that. We're on the road to 2K. Let's do it. All right. I know I did this stream a little impromptu. Just woke up. Going to do a stream later for the 33rd team. So trying to fit this one in before. Good morning, Felix. What's going on? Felix, the winner of the DK Best Ball the year that I took it down. The NFL schedule is here. We don't have a ton of time to talk about it, but we're going to pull up none other than yours truly's Twitter, at ChessLiam. If you're just discovering me, my name's Liam Murphy. I'm a 3-time NFL Best Ball champion, and I put together this handy sheet. Actually, if you click into this tweet I put out, which if you join my Discord, the link to join that is below. And thank you for whoever told me that the Discord links expire. So that is why the Discord link wasn't working before, because it expires. So I need to refresh it every once in a while. But in there, if you go into the Best Ball resources, sharing the wrong thing. In there, don't mind that picture. That's just someone fooling around. You're going to see the NFL schedule here. You can take a screenshot of this for your phone. Works perfectly. GM, how's it going, Oleg? But on the tweet, I had one game wrong. I had Jets playing the Vikings. Don't know how that happened. I think I just repeated their week 15 game or something. I don't know. But I corrected it down here. So the week 17 schedule, without further ado. The Cardinals play the Eagles. The Falcons play the Bears. The Ravens play the Dolphins. The Bills play the Patriots. The Panthers play the Jags. The Bengals play the Chiefs. The Bears play the Falcons. The Browns play the Jets. The Cowboys play the Lions. The Broncos play the Chargers. The Lions play the Cowboys. The Packers play the Vikings. The Texans play the Titans. The Colts play the Raiders. The Chiefs play the Bengals. The Chargers play the Broncos. The Rams play the Giants. The Jags play the Panthers. The Dolphins play the Ravens. The Vikings play the Packers. The Patriots play the Bills. The Saints play the Bucks. The Giants play the Rams. The Jets play the Browns. The Raiders play the Colts. The Eagles play the Cardinals. 49ers play the Commanders. Seahawks play the Steelers. Steelers play the Seahawks. Bucks play the Saints. Titans play the Texans. Washington plays the 49ers. So I also have week 15 and week 16 games here. Some people like to look at the whole playoff schedule. So they look, for example, they could be like, oh, the Chargers play the Raiders, the Bills, the Broncos. Those are 3 great games for them. We're in on the Chargers. Or I've seen this take a lot. People are like, oh, Derrick Henry and the Titans get the Texans twice, week 15 and week 17, and the Seahawks in the middle. So it's up to you how you want to play it. Real quick, surface thoughts. I've not really dived in too much. I just kind of ripped this off for you guys and then logged off last night. But games that excite me, Dolphins, Ravens, number 1. I mean, hard to get the game out of your mind from last year where that game went for like 40 points, everyone. So I need to look into defenses and how things have changed, but that game would be top of mind. I personally am not afraid of the Patriots defense for the Bills. Some people are. If we remember, Best Ball Mania 1, a lot of teams that did well that year had the Josh Allen against the Bills. Falcons-Bears, interesting game. Feels like some running pieces. Love the Eagles versus the Cardinals. It's going to be a lot of points for the Eagles there, you would think. Chiefs-Bengals, obvious. Chargers-Broncos, a lot of repeats from when I won Best Ball Mania 2. Chargers-Broncos is a repeat. Vikings, Packers is a repeat from that year. Chiefs-Bengals is a repeat from that year. Might be some others. So Here's the schedule for you guys. Again, I'm going to be doing a stream for the 33rd team later, so going to just jump into a draft. Join the Discord. Hit the subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to 2K. We just crossed the 1,700 subscriber barrier yesterday. Let's close that. And let's jump into this Best Ball Mania 4. So, if you have questions, please let me know. You're welcome for sharing the schedule. Devin says he hasn't done one for a while. You don't need to. Remember, I do guest puppies, so if you want to draft with me, you can wait till I have a guest on the stream. I wouldn't go crazy with the week 17 schedule. I'm one of the people who popularized the idea. Because the year that I won Best Ball Mania 2, I had a lot of week 17 bringbacks. And I was drafting with the games in mind. So I didn't have the biggest platform to talk about it, but I definitely helped popularize the strategy. And it just kind of became like common sense. But I wouldn't be doing things like on the 1-2 turn going like T. Higgins, Pat Mahomes. Like I see some people doing that. That's getting a little too in the weeds there. Can that team still advance? Sure. Can those two players go for 40 points week 17? Sure. But usually we're using it as tie breaks, especially for our late round picks. And we pulled the 102 here, so I'm going to make my pick and then go blow my nose real quick. Some allergies getting to me. I'm excited for the WSOP, the World Series, a poker to be here. Going to be going there soon. I've been studying a little bit. My dad's going to be coming out this year, so I've been helping him. He's not a big poker player, but it's been fun studying with him. Of course, we're locking in Alpha Play Jamar Chase, the guy who went for 50 points week 17 and won me $1,001. Let's go. Be right back. Stop by, say hi, Randazzler. You know, obviously, WSOP, not a big hangout spot always, but I like saying hi to people. Oleg asking, what's the workout plan for the day? Great question. Did a sprint workout yesterday. Either going to lift weights or swim. Either like swim like 100 laps or something in my small pool or do some like dumbbell workouts. I have two 45-pound dumbbells and two 25-pound dumbbells at my house and a flat bench. So don't go to the gym as much per se. I think 1 month though, shortly, I'm gonna hire a personal trainer just to get my heavy lifts down. I'll lift heavy for that month. Because, you know, I know how to squat and deadlift and everything, but it's been so long that I've done it like seriously that I want them to help me find my 1 rep max, and then you can design a workout plan off of that. And so for that month, I'll just like deadlift, squat, whatever, but not this month. This month is, you know, like we're just trying to get fit. So like fit to me is not get the biggest muscles you can get. That's a different thing. Fitness is like the ability to go on runs or sprint or, you know, you have a strong cardio system. I've definitely been fit before in my life, Unfortunately, the fittest I've ever been was probably like my sophomore year of college. So it's been a while. I'm 30 now. The market's ADPs are going to change a little bit to correlate with week 17. For example, Devontae Adam, JT going to become way more common of a pairing, like 10-minute did here. Why? Because those two teams play each other week 17. Let's see any other correlation people are doing. And your top picks, you don't need to correlate them as much, right? Like you don't mind, but tough spot in the draft. Lions invested a lot in their defense, but they're still a pretty bad run defense. So we're taking Tony Pollard against the Lions week 17. I'm going to pull up my own schedule just to let it synthesize. Whose playoff schedules do I like? Let's get in the habit of doing that. I probably have week 17 already memorized. Let's see. The Cowboys play. Okay, he goes. Bills, Dolphins, Lions. Pretty fun schedule. We don't have that many Derrick Henry shares, so we're going to grab a share of him. I think, if he's on the Texans, he does play if he's on the Titans, he does play the Texans 2 times. Also gets the Seahawks in between. Another not great run defense. And if he's traded, he's probably traded to a good team. Good for you, Devin. Devin says he's been going on puppies and doing walks. Maybe I'll try jogging. Yeah, man. I would do something like this. Like if you're just getting back into fitness, maybe you jog around a whole round until it's your pick. Then you walk around. Then you jog around. Then you walk around. So you're keeping your body guessing. People do. Wow, Ramondre falling all the way back there. People do this a lot with sprinting too, where it's like a great workout for fat loss is like you sprint and then you walk and then you jog and then you sprint and then you walk, you jog. And the point is that when you go on like long distance runs, the human body is really good at adapting and doing things efficiently, which means you're not working as hard. But when you sprint, walk, run, when you keep your body guessing with all these whatnot, it can't adapt, Good morning, Cal. Swimming is good for you, Steven. People don't know this, but I got second place in the breaststroke when I was 8 years old, so almost a state champion. I'm not a huge Derrick Henry guy, but he is pretty cheap. He did have a great year last year, although showed signs of slowing down. Feels right to get shares of him in a half-point PPR site. Some people's mentality, this is not my mentality, but some people's mentality is that week 17 doesn't matter. It's all about maximizing for weeks 15 to 16. I think that's foolish, but might resonate with you. Awesomeo wrote an article kind of alluding to that. But I had an assumption that I think the assumption is wrong. So I spot checked some of my old BBM4 drafts, and I found a ton. Like I checked like my first 8, and like half of those had at least 9 players correlated for week 17. So you're going to fall into week 17 correlation. Oleg's asking if I'm going to bump Tajae Spears because they played the Texans twice. No, I'd bump him because he's a 3rd-round pick. Cal Be Cool saying, got some battle ropes. Excited to try those out. Yeah, that looks like a great workout. The like Ken Walker really falling. I got a share of him in the 5th round yesterday. Feels good there. I guess we'll take the Joe Burrow share away from Dobby here, who has T on the inside. We can fit in some Chiefs late. Got our quarterback, got our 2 running backs. We need wideouts. We need tight ends. Elon saying some of the teams he has stacked up are Giants, Rams, Buffalo, New England, Indy. Yeah, so the winners for the division stacks, which for week 17 purposes, Dobby might be auto drafting. I don't know if he made that pick or nope. Oh, he definitely made that pick. Let's go with Keenan. The Chargers play the Broncos week 17. And it's possible the Broncos suck. Plus, Keenan's like a stud. A little devalued on half-point PPR sites, but we need wideout bodies for sure. He's way more expensive on PPR sites, by the way. So yeah, if you stack division opponents, the wins for you pre-schedule release were Bills, Patriots. I did that quite a bit. I have a lot of Ramondre, Josh Allen stacks. Obviously, I'm not taking, like I take a Tyquan here and there, but I'm not going all in on the Patriots. So really, it's only Ramondre. You also won out with Titans, Texans, and Bucks, Saints, and I think that's Packers, Vikings is a big one. Which those teams seem to play each other every year, week 17. So pretty good. You got four games that way, I think. What is your least favorite week 17 game? Because last year, it's not only the Chiefs Bengals games we want to stack, it's also the like last year for me it was like Jags Texans. It was Lions Bears. It was like these pieces playing what I perceive to be bad defenses. So I got to lock in on the defenses. Still seems like the Vikings defense sucks. I need to refresh myself on free agent signings. Still seems like the Lions defense could be better because they invested a lot of free agency there. Like the Falcons defense could be good. So I think the Bills defense could be worse. Devin's saying his least favorite is Atlanta, Chicago. Yeah, but I don't know. Cowboys Lions is a fun game in that dome. I agree. However, that Cowboys defense is vicious, right? So seems like not the best matchup for Goff. Yeah, Cards D the worst probably. Absolutely. However, I've already seen some people worried. What if the Eagles rest players because they're winning by so much? I mean, you got to score points to do that. So someone has to score the points to make that happen, right? I think we're just going to take the Lockett discount. I think it's just like take Lockett, take JSN. One of them's going to be a pretty big smash. If not, both of them going to have their weeks. So him falling a bit here, I'll scoop that up. Don't mind Tony getting taken at all. Tony, he's just kind of a gadget guy. We're going to take Darren Waller. No, he does not play any of these teams. He plays the Rams. However, I think he's just live to have a really huge year. I like getting an elite tight end. Could have a bad year. I could have taken like Deontay or George Pickens to correlate with the Seattle pick. I could have taken Gabe Davis. I could have taken Treylon Burks. Get some Houston Texans late. But we didn't. Swift was in consideration there for me. Geoff, sorry, brother. You're just going to have to rewind and listen to me on 4 times speed to catch up. No, I'm kidding. Geoff asked for the audio listeners joining late. Will you be stacking Week 16 games or focus mainly on Week 17? We are a focus on Week 17 crowd here, where Week 17 is a 450 entrant final, roughly. Week 15, Week 16, these are 16-person pods. You're just going to get lucky in advance out of those sometimes. Right? So I'd much rather play that mentality rather than let me try to get. I just don't think it's marginal for advancing to the finals purposes, in my opinion. Some disagree. Rooney says lots of Rams to stack with later. That is true. However, pretty big question mark of a team. It's like you feel good about Kupp, Cam Akers, maybe Tyler Higbee. That's like, who are the wideouts? Let me fire up a coffee real quick. I'll be right back. I do have my cat Puma here with me. Say hello, Puma. He's a chiller. He's sitting on the cat tower. I think I'll try to move that behind me. Get a little Puma cam going on. Why not, It's not much of a lap kitty. I also have these Underdog tennis balls. Shout out Underdog. Target Hog says, feel like early camp reports could really affect the Rams wideouts when we find out who's getting snaps. Absolutely, man. Camp reports can do a lot. Ooh, Anthony Richardson goes. I think there's a bit of a tier break after Michael Thomas. I'm betting on Michael Thomas. Like, look, if he gets hurt again, so be it. If he retires, so be it. But like, dude could smash if healthy. And real quick, the wideouts go from like Michael Thomas down to like Odell and Juju, And then after that, it's like Jacoby Myers, Tyler Boyd, Sky Moore. So got to get yours while you can. Got to hope Michael Thomas can like compete with like the Chris Godwins, the Drake Londons. Just not that big of an ask. Jameson Williams would have considered for the Dallas stack. Interesting point here. Pick 98. We could totally go Prescott with Pollard. We could go RB. We could go Daniel Jones. We're gonna let Dak auto off the top here. Bit past ADP. We don't need him with Joe Burrow, but Tony Pollard does catch passes. Let me let my cat out. Grab that coffee. Thank you. Damian Harris revenge game week 17. I like it. Cal Be Cool saying, do you think anyone's ADP will go up by a round because of week 17? Hard to say, but possibly. Terrence asked, did you watch Lowell's? No, but I did. He asked about the new auto draft feature. Look, I think I've made my stance on auto drafting pretty clear. I think it's terrible for the space. It's not clear to me if it's even allowed by the rules of Underdog. So I want Underdog to come out and clearly state either yes, this is okay, or no, it's not. I look through their terms. It looks to me like it's not allowed. And, I like Brick. I have no problem with it, but I think it's the ability for collusion actually being a concern is now a big problem if auto drafting exists. All these things. So either Underdog should like adapt software like Bricks into their platform, then it's fine with me. But I don't think you want the like millionaires of the world with the ability to click a button and build efficient best ball teams. Not to mention, again, the shady things that can happen. But we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. 10 Minutes says the Anthony Richardson team seems to be fading lately. Yeah, you're going to see that. And this is how you should treat players like this is like, if you want a player and they're rising ADP, you should attempt to push it. You don't want to be the part of the problem in rising their ADP. I have seen Anthony Richardson sometimes go in the pick 100s, even when he's going in the 80s sometimes. Methodology says, give us the brew style, champ, of my coffee. It's a dark roast. Is that what you mean? Shout out Methodology, a colorful character in the space. He usually keeps us plugged into the TMZ side of the NFL. Who's dating who? Mythology. Did you see the Josh Allen? Josh Allen allegedly got the bartender pregnant and broke up with his girlfriend. Yeah, Terrence, I just don't think you're understanding the argument. We're not saying that the auto draft software is, again, I don't want to. I would be happy to talk about it with Brian. I'd be happy to talk about it with other people, but I'm not going to just go on like tirades. And just recognize that like it does me no favors to be stating what I think is good for the space. This is not me trying to protect my edge. Auto drafting in the beginning would increase my edge because it's very terrible. Cal Be Cool says, will you do a bulldog when you get back from the WSOP or before? No. Underdog came out with some high stakes contest. I don't like how it's structured. Prizes aren't big enough up top. I'd much rather invest into like the 555 with 1 mil up top than like the 200 for 20K. Especially with me having a tax year where coming in at pick 119, I think Damian Harris is a pretty easy click here. Patriots are drawing live to be the worst team in the NFL. Yes, their defense is good, but get a nice little balanced stack we got going here. We got 3 RBs to fill the flex. We got 4 RBs to fill the flex. We got tight end. We got 2 elite quarterbacks potentially. Forget what I was talking about, but so not our most stacked up week 17 draft to begin here. Did one yesterday. 13 of my 18 players were correlated last night. But everything's going to be different, And I'm not going to force it. Here though, kind of a gross range. I think we'll just grab Dalton Schultz, be done at tight end, and Schultz does correlate with Derrick Henry twice. So we're getting our week 17. Derrick Henry scores 3 rushing touchdowns, 300 yards week 17, and Dalton Schultz gets 101 in garbage time. Let's pull up the high stakes ones just to look at it. Because I only briefly looked at it, but I typically like to chase the higher first prizes. So they have a Dalmatian that's $100 to enter. It's $20K to first. I don't know the final size. It is. What's the advance rate? Yeah, so I'm just not a big fan of the way Underdog does their high stakes, where they try to advance a lot more people. So you're seeing 4 people are advancing. Oh, is the Dalmatian a single entry? That changes it a little bit. If it's like, all right, fine, you just enter one for $100, fuck it. But I would rather them see harsher advance rates, like 2 out of 12. Who's asking for this 4 out of 12 stuff? And make this like final, like 20 people. I don't know, 40 people in the final. So last place gets $250. So you made $150. First place gets $20K. It's like pretty outrageous, top heavy. But good for a platform who wants to spread money. The Bulldog, $500, $30K up top. They probably have pretty generous advance rates again. Top 4, top 2, top 1. So yeah, it's just not my favorite in the way you vote in the spaces with your dollars. So but we don't know with Underdog. They could come out. I would expect that we're going to get the big dog later in the season. I don't understand why they don't release it now. Big dog usually $250, $100K up top. That's something I'll probably fire at. I just have to decide like how much do I want to do on FFPC and whatnot. And the FFPC I can actually draft in Vegas. So I mean, they're in my opinion, they're wild for allowing that. But that's a factor. So I can draft and play poker at the same time. And poker is like a big patience game. So all right. So we need to get some wideouts on the team. We need to get some running backs too. We're set at quarterback. We're set at tight end. But you can always add another one if you feel like it late. I think Nico Collins makes a lot of sense for my team. Again, playing Derrick Henry week 17. We also have Dalton Schultz. If we feel like to take, like if CJ Stroud falls to the 18th round, maybe I'd take him. Why not? Devin saying 101 is such an odd entry fee. It's kind of like spelling out lol. So that's whatever, funny, I guess. Devin saying waiting late to grab running backs feels so gross, not knowing who the best backups are. Yeah, it's a bit of whack-a-mole when you do. Uh, we're gonna take Michael Gallup here. Stacks with Dak Prescott. Michael Gallup had an ACL injury. Not a guy I take a lot of because I took a lot of him last year, but it made sense why last year was a down year for him. I don't really know how to view the Brandon Cook signing, but Gallup still seems like a solid pick for half point PPR where he can, he can have these like 2 touchdown red zone type games. So feeling good about the lineup 2-3-6-2. We got Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Damian Harris, Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, Nico Collins, Michael Gallup, Darren Waller, Dalton Schultz. See you, Fred. We got no room for haters on this lovely morning. It's 101 Dalmatians pun. Man, that is I guess it makes sense with the underdog, but that is thin. Let's come up with some. You know what's funny is one of my favorite songs in like freshman year of high school was "Underdog" by Spoon. It's like you got no fear of the underdog, and then I ended up winning Underdogs contest. And then when I was in Portugal, I heard that song for the first time in a while. I wish I could play music and stuff here. I don't know what's allowed. Like the NFL theme music, just like lightly in the background, like. I'm gonna be going live on my Twitter with Josh Larkey at 11:15. So if you want to catch me on that stream too, gonna talk through a schedule with him. Gonna have an article on the 33rd team. Gonna bust that out this weekend. Debuting Monday. That's a good idea. NFL theme song at 2x speed, so it's not copyrighted. Yeah, I think you can do weird things like that fools the algorithm, like 1.5 speed or whatever. All right, Cal, enjoy your work meeting. Once again, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, really helps me out. Love that. No warning, impromptu. We got 85 of you in here this morning. Best ball, better than ever. I'm doing daily, weekday videos on this channel for the month of May. We're going to have some short form content coming out. Can't do a draft every day. But I need to get a lot of drafts down in May because remember, I'm not drafting June. I'm not drafting half of July. And I do not want to bang out 450 best ball drafts from July on. This is pick number 167. We're going to take Jeff Wilson. He's younger than Mostert. He's probably, like Dalvin Cook rumors to the Dolphins exist, but one of the last running backs in this range plays for the Dolphins if, a great offense. Was on my winning BBM2 team, so we're bringing back the gang here. We got Jeff Wilson. We got Jamar Chase from that team. And the wideouts were pretty flat. Like, I can take a lot of wideouts and make it work. Fuck it, though. Grabbing Tajae Spears. We got the Derrick Henry handcuff. From Tajae Spears, it goes down to like Chuba Hubbard and gang. Yeah, Tajae might not even the 2 there. Again, we can figure out wide receiver late. Tajae Spears with Derrick Henry, you can win more than one way. Derrick Henry can get traded. Derrick Henry can get hurt. You can also lose in more than one way, but, you know. Tajae Spears doesn't have to be the 2, but 3rd round pick in the NFL draft, so. Why no June and July? Yeah, I'm going to be in Vegas. You're not allowed to draft then. Knox falling to the 15th feels right. I mean, he could still have 6 touchdowns, though, which is like more than some tight ends can say, but I like a lot of tight ends. So, and nothing stopping Derrick Henry and Tajae Spears from contributing in the same game. We got Collins, Schultz, Spears, and Henry going crazy week 17. Why don't they let you draft? Good question. It's bullshit, Art. But basically, Vegas has brick and mortar casinos, right? So they do not want people to be gambling on apps. And they don't really care too much about like best ball or whatnot, but it's just like, to them, if they let someone start doing that, well, then people might start playing slot machines on their phones or on these online casinos. So it's just bullshit that you're not allowed to do it in Vegas. But yeah, that's what's basically going on there. So either going to rip off 3 straight wideouts or might throw in a running back too. Touch of Green says, I live in Vegas, have to drive 30 minutes to Prim/California border to get an underdog. Yeah, and I will consider that for some slow drafts while there, solely the 555s, mainly because Dan Zach's also at the WSOP, and I know he's done the drive. So if he's going, I might join to reg with him. But, I'm there to play poker. Fantasy football is going to be here. That's right, Art. We're here to teach you about all gambling degeneracy of each state. Art says, wow, learn something new every day. If you guys missed my guest streams, had 2 guests on the channel this week, had Jacob Sanderson on, had Ron Stewart on. Enjoyed hearing about their stories. It's like a lot of wideouts are ripping off the board, but we can always adapt. We're having Jerome Ford, and we're done at RB. Yeah, he plays the Jets, but as things stand today, he's looking like the RB2 in Cleveland. Wouldn't be shocking for Kareem Hunt to sign there or anyone, but yeah, not my favorite team I've built ever, but that's to be expected when a bunch of stream snipers join. Man, we need wideouts. I don't really feel like taking more Houston dudes. We're taking Deontay Hardy. Because fuck it. Deontay Hardy, I think a good season for him is like 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not a smash pick, but you just hope those 5 touchdowns land in the playoff weeks, land in the finals. Potential he could be the slot, but it's probably Shakir, right? So he's just looking like the wideout 4. Deep threat. A lot of buzz about him until Dalton Kincaid signed. Deontay Hardy versus Trent Sherfield. Trent Sherfield, more of a speed guy. Totally could get, it's not going to be shocking if he leaps Hardy, but I think Hardy's a little bit ahead on the depth chart. Yeah, Justin Shorter, I don't think impacts Hardy as much. I think he, like the Justin Shorter thesis is Gabe Davis gets hurt or Steph Diggs gets hurt and he's an outside guy, or if he's just better than Davis, etc. You play in the main event and the satellites. Satellites have changed. They had to basically people could tax evade by playing a lot of single table satellites and selling the lammers and not collecting them. So I don't even know if they have satellites, but playing a lot of events, plan to play the main event. P can't send. Been weird listening to this 1x speed. Normally catch the VODs. I get that, man. Devin saying, also not loving the Patriots matchup in week 17. Could be a slower paced game. Yeah. I don't fade elite quarterbacks because they play the vaunted Patriots defense. Okay. And our last pick here is a man by the name of Charlie Jones. Do I know anything about him? No, I don't. What I do know is he was drafted by the Bengals, so he stacks with Joe Burrow. He is going undrafted in a lot of drafts, which we want to be taking players that are not drafted a lot. Maybe has contingent value. Maybe won't make the team. They also drafted another wideout in the 6th round. The Bengals did. Maybe he's just insurance for Tyler Boyd leaving, etc. But hopefully he sees the field late in the season, and our team is strong enough that they can bring a Charlie Jones there. a guy I would never take if I didn't have Joe Burrow. So let's name this team. This is 44, 512 streamed, 2682, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott. So the team was Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Damian Harris, Jeff Wilson, Tajae Spears, Jerome Ford, Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, Nico Collins, Michael Gallup, Deontay Hardy, Charlie Jones, Darren Waller, Dalton Schultz. Our Week 17 game stacks are Derrick Henry, Tajae Spears, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. So that's 4. We're going to count overstacking a team as team stacks because the thesis is just that team scores points. So Hardy and Damian Harris is a Week 17 game stack to me. It's just you're saying the Bills beat the shit out of the Patriots. Makes sense. So I would count those 2. I would also count the Chase plus Charlie Jones plus Joe Burrow. You're just saying the Bengals score a lot of points. Yeah, we don't have to bring back. You don't need to bring back. Other than that, no Week 17 game stacks. We do have the Gallup, Tony Pollard, Dak Prescott part. So just saying Dallas scores a lot of points on the Lions. So, decent, not a lot of bringbacks here other than the Titans-Texans game, but pretty unique team. We like it. Perhaps a little weak at some positions. Like, need these 3 running backs to be good. Obviously, my quarterback's healthy. Need my tight ends to ball. And need to get, need Lockett to ball. Need Michael Thomas to ball. Need Keenan Allen to ball. Need to get something from some of these guys. But especially as we're not counting on Hardy and Jones. They're more like darts. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'll be back on Monday on my channel. You can catch me in a little bit here on Twitter at ChessLiam, 11:15 for a stream with Josh Larkey. Peace out, guys. Have a great weekend.